Good morning and welcome in to our morning, where are we? Wednesday morning Facebook Live. A bit of a warning. First of all, my name is Helen Jennings and let's just swap that back again. Just trying to turn the sound off and instead I've swapped my camera. So my name is Helen Jennings. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. We come with a bit of a warning this morning. I've probably not had as much sleep as is good for coherent speech this morning. So apologies for whatever is going to be said and happen in the next hour. No particular reason. I was just awake at sort of, that sort of time that just hits with the dawn chorus, which is beautiful, but not when you're trying to get back to sleep. So, yeah, I was just a very early awakening this morning. Never mind, we're going to play. And I have just had time while making my tea to check the store, and both of the stamp sets that I'm planning on playing with today, because I thought we'd do two different ones, and they're both still in stock. Our unicorn one had gone when I went to add a link yesterday to something. It was gone. Morning Lisa, morning Valerie, morning Beryl, Hannah, morning. But the two that I've got down to use this morning are both still currently in stock. At least they are here in the UK. And the first one is this Born to Shine, a lovely little stamp set, and there was great excitement in our household when that was spotted in the catalogue, because it's not just me that has to look through the catalogue. There's my two daughters and my son's fiance. We all have to have a good look, and everybody comes up with their favourites. My son's fiance, her family, her sister particularly, her sister is very much a dancer, and so this stamp set was like, wow. So if you have anybody that are dancers, then it's a fabulous stamp set. It was also the one that Emily used to create a card for my granddaughter, because although she's not a ballet dancer, she does love a little bit of dancing around. She had a tutu for her birthday and likes nothing more than a bit of prancing around in front of the telly when the dancers are on. So for anybody like that, all the little girls that love dancing, and it's a fabulous stamp set, and one of those things that is really useful to hang on to on your shelf, because you never quite know when you're going to want a ballet card. So that's the first one that we're going to be playing with this morning. We'll come on to the other one in a little while, but I thought we'd have a bit of a play with this. And I've got my Stamparatus out, and I thought we would do a long thin card today, a DL sized card, so we will have a play with that. So we're going to use both of these little ballerinas, and I am going to be using my Stamparatus for at least one of them. Now if you don't have a Stamparatus, poor you should get one. Put one on your birthday list. It's a stamp positioning tool. It's Stampin' Up stamp positioning tool. There are lots of stamp positioning tools on the market. None of them are as clever as ours, because you do get two plates with it. You can lift it up, and it is hinged, and you can move it down to do sort of hinge stamping, all sorts of things. If you do have a Stamparatus and would like to get more out of it, I have got a class this week. Tomorrow, where are we? We're Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock. I'm doing a Stamparatus technique, and I think there's about 18 different techniques that you can do. If you don't have a Stamparatus, if you have another stamp positioning tool, most of them can be done with other stamp positioning tools. Obviously, the only thing you can't do is you can't do that hinged effect. That certainly can't be done with other stamp positioning tools, because ours is the only one that does it. So, yes, that's the Stamparatus. So if you do fancy joining us for a Stamparatus class on Thursday afternoon, do shout. It is one that you don't get any kit or anything. It just is a £7.50 class. I will send you out some email with some sort of bits that you can fill in as reminders after the class of the different techniques. But other than that, it's just about bringing your own stamp and tool and your own card and your own ink, and it just is about the techniques. So a tuition only class, so open to anybody. Right, let's get started with our little ballerina. Now there's two, well, she may be the same ballerina, but there's two layouts. Hi Karen. It is a lovely set for a little dancer. So we've got two layouts. So we've got the back view of our ballerina and we have this front view. So both in their different poses. Rather beautiful. So we're going to use both stamps, but we're going to, of course you can, Lisa. I will, I'll pop a link up. So when I edit the video, I'll pop a link up, but you'd be more than welcome to come and join our class. Come and play with some Stamparatus. It's £7.50, I think, if you're here in the UK. And it's 1 till, I think we've booked in 1 till 4:30 on Wednesday. We'll just see how we go. Zoom classes, timings on Zoom classes are a little bit different from timings. They tend to be slightly shorter than in person, but we'll see. It depends how much we chat, really. Right, so we've got our little ballerina, and as you can see, I've put her already on my plate just there. And I've also got my silicone mat in here, and I have got some washi tape here that is positioned for the corner that I want my piece of card to go into. So I'm going to sit that piece of card in there. I've already cut 3 stitched rectangles. I was a little bit organised. So I've cut 3 stitched rectangles in shimmery white cardstock. Actually, I've had a change of plan, so I could have done it on ordinary white, but we have it in shimmery. That's because of the technique that I'm going to do in a minute. I thought would be better with Memento than it would with Stays On. So a change of plan on colouring, but I'd already cut the stitch circles. Right, so there we are. We have stamped a beautiful ballerina. Now, if we'd have lifted that up and she hadn't quite stamped somewhere, we could have inked it up and stamped again because it's not going to have moved. That's all fine. You notice that I've actually got my magnets holding down my mat. I didn't on that occasion hold down the card. The mat itself is going to cling onto it a little bit anyway. But for this next bit, it's more important that the mat doesn't move at this point. So what I'm going to do now is, I know that I'm going to want this piece of card to go in here, but I actually want my ballerina to face the other way. So in order to get my ballerina facing the other way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink her up just as I did before. Give her a good amount of ink. And I'm going to stamp her onto my silicone mat. And then I'm going to take my stitched rectangle and I'm going to lay it face down, so right side facing downwards in my little notch that I've created for it, and then without re-inking I'm just going to stamp again. Now, even without re-inking, I've got quite a nice ballerina on that side, but hopefully when I turn her round I shall also have a reverse ballerina on that side. Now, she's not quite as dark as that one. I could have perhaps stamped twice and got a bigger sort of bit more ink, made it a bit more inky before I stamped that. But there we are. We have one ballerina facing one way and one facing the other, and we're going to colour her in anyway, so that is absolutely fine. And then we'll just stamp our third ballerina. So we're also going to want her, where's our little, oh, inky marks on that one. I'm going to turn it over and risk it. That's because I've got inky fingers. It's going to look slightly different on the stitching, but as my dad used to say, a blind man would be glad to see it. Right, I'm going to rest her just there. I've laid her where I want her to be. I've taken out my mat and I've turned it round. So now I can pick her up. Oh, no we can't. She has, oh. Shall we try that once more with feeling? I did warn you it was going to be one of those days that not enough sleep would be had. Let's put her down that way so that the cling bit is facing me, shall we? That will work much better. Then we will shut our Stamparatus. I promise Lisa I'll go to bed before tomorrow's class, and open her up, and she is now beautifully on our plate. Now I can ink up the stamp bit. And there we are. She does have a smudgy finger mark, but I will work on those in a little while. Let's move that Stamparatus to one side for now. Let me just give my finger a bit of a wipe and get rid of the black ink that's on it. Now what I've got here is I've picked up some of the papers from the Bird Ballad. Hi Angie, from the Bird Ballad set, and this is Petal Pink and Pool Party. So I've picked up some Petal Pink and Pool Party card as well. And I think what we'll do, I don't know that I want to go as big as the, no, I think I'm just going to trim it with a slight border on that, rather than go up to the next stitch rectangle, which will be slightly bigger than I want it to be. So let's measure this, and this is 1.7, no it's not, 6.7 by 10.1. Let's write that down before we forget it. 6.7, 10.1. So I think we'll make that 7 centimetres, and I think we'll make it 10.5. That will or 10, no, we will go 10.4. 7 centimetres by 10.4. We want some rectangles. We've written it down so we don't forget. So let's start by cutting that to 10.4. And then we wanted it 6.7 centimetres. 1, 2, and that one is 3. So when we've coloured these in, they will sit beautifully with just a bit of a pop of blue coming around the outside. So then we want to cut our card base. Now I'm going to have to tweak this slightly, because normally if I was going to do a DL size card, and it might mean that I'm going to have to make my own envelope, but that's fine. Normally if I was doing a DL card, I would cut it so it's full width by 20 centimetres, and it would be 10 centimetres wide that way when I scored and folded it. But obviously our mats are going to be bigger than that, so ideally I want it to be 11 centimetres, I think, when it's folded. In fact, I think I might even go 11.5 centimetres. So I'm going to cut it so that it is 23 centimetres long. I'm going to score it, but not with that trimmer. Let's make sure I've got my right way round now. I'm going to score it at 11.5 centimetres. Then what I've got is a fat DL card. So normally a DL card would be 10 centimetres by that way to fit into a standard DL size envelope that we can get here in the UK. I don't know whether those are available elsewhere, but we'll just create our own envelope for it. When it comes time to send it, that's absolutely fine. We can do that. That's the wonder. Being able to do these things. Right, so for our paper, for our background, we've made our card 11.5 centimetres wide. So we'll cut a strip of paper that is 11 centimetres wide, and we'll swing it round. And the full width of an A4 is 21 centimetres, so I'm going to make that 20.5. So that can go on there like that. It's really pretty, this paper, isn't it, with these blue flowers. So now we need to colour in our ballerinas. So we've used Memento, so we'll go with Stamping Blends. And what colours are we going to need? We're going to need some Petal Pink, and we're going to need some Pool Party. There's a dark Pool Party. Rustle, rustle, rustle. That's a dark Petal Pink. That's another dark Pool Party. Yes, it is. There's a light Pool Party. There's a light Petal Pink. We'll have an Ivory. Oh, and she's going to walk. What colour hair shall we give her? Let's have some Crumb Cake. Might come in with a little bit of dark soft suede. Let's come in with a little bit of light soft suede. Right, let's see how we go with those. We're not going to want lots of different shades of colour. Just got the light and dark of each one. So I think we'll have our 2 reversible ballerinas in one colour. I think we'll do those in Petal Pink, and we'll do our middle one in light Pool Party. So let's take dark Petal Pink. So there's not a lot, too much colouring in to do with these, but we have got her tutu. So where there is shading on the stamp, we'll put down some dark Petal Pink, and then we'll come in with some light Petal Pink. And I think we'll have some dark Petal Pink for her shoes. Now skin wise, I'm going to come in with the light Petal Pink. I'm going to put some sort of little blobs of Petal Pink sort of around these, and I'm going to go over with the Ivory, which is just here. I might also give her a little dash of pink on her face. Obviously that's all going to blend out now, those blobs. And this Ivory looks really dark when it first goes on. So we could have obviously done this in watercolours, watercolour pencils. We could have given a different colour tights. There we go. And then hair, I think will come in dark plum cake. So a couple of little touches of dark soft suede, and we'll come over the top and blend that out with some light soft suede. So there we are. As those colours dry, you can already see how the colour on her arms and things is fading. I might do a little bit more soft suede on her hair. Right, so there's one pink one. That's clever, look. So there's the one I've coloured. There's the one on the reverse side. It's coloured in perfectly. There's one little ballerina. Let's do her reverse number. So again, we'll start with the dark petal pink. Morning, Gwyn. I don't know whether I said morning, Div, but morning, Div, if I didn't. Let's bring in our light petal pink. And our light and dark crumb cake. Just turning my heater down. This feels a bit warm in here. So we'll come in with some of the light petal pink and just give her some of those touches on elbows and things. Oh, I haven't done her shoes. Ivory. And as I always say, you obviously can take much more time over this than I am. Go back in and do her shoes in a minute. She already quite nicely has some little shadows under her feet. If she hadn't, we'd go in and put those in just to make sure that she's grounded and not floating in midair. Although being a ballerina, she might obviously have just taken off. And let's bring in her face. Dark petal pink for her shoes. So this is another of those cards that you could add in quite a bit of sparkle to if you wanted to. Morning, Molly. There's our ballerina number 2. Let's pop her up on some pool party card. And then for ballerina number 3, we're going to give her a pool party tutu. She's either changed or it's a twin sister. So this is the dark pool party. Coming around here. Now obviously I'm not going to add in pool party to her knees and cheeks. We will go back to the petal pink for that. Blend out that colour. And to take our light petal pink. Now she doesn't look like she's got shoes on. Do we want to give her shoes? Or is she going to be barefooted? And round on her legs. Down this leg. And then we'll give her some hair. There she is. Let's stick her on our mat. She has got very smudgy fingerprints on there. Let's see. You can add a little embellishment, but we'll try and take some of that off. That's a bit better. So this isn't a Stampin' Up product, this is a sand rubber, and it is relatively effective. Getting those little bits of ink off, that's a bit better. Right, okay. So let's put us together. So I'm going to put this paper. So we could have gone with the birds on that side, but I quite liked this flowery paper. And then I think we'll have one ballerina coming this end, one ballerina coming that end, and then this other one we'll have standing upright. One. We could have gone in with a stamping blend possibly around the outside of her to give her a bit more of a shadow. Could have gone in with some watercolour and made her a spotlight, but we'll keep it relatively simple. Now then, shall we have that one on a bit of an angle? In the middle there. Or, yeah, no, I think we'll keep it on a bit of an angle, and we'll have that one coming up onto some dimensionals. Just wondering, just thinking ribbons and things. I think I might have used up all my pretty pink with the champagne trim. I liked that one. Excuse me while I just stare into my ribbon box. One might be a little bit too wide. Don't know, that's quite pretty. As long as I don't have it sticking out too far each side, I think that one would work. So let's put some snail down the back so that we can assure it's not sticking out too much each side. We'll just have a bit of a swirl coming down there. We are able to control that quite nicely, having the sticky on the back. And just a little bit of a snip here. Quite like that. Right, let's use up some of these dimensionals. I sometimes think I have to remind myself that you're all still here, that I'm not just literally just chatting to myself while I'm crafting. Do come on and tell me if you think something is totally not right. Shout at me, Helen, stop, don't do that. Now the other thing that I have got, hopefully somewhere, I'll have a look, I'll see if I've got any of the champagne rhinestones. I know that they were out of stock for a little while, but they are coming into the new catalogue. I was pleased to see those. What shall we have as a greeting on that? What about "You were born to shine"? And we'll have that with a little looking to see if I can see my oddment bag of shimmer cardstock, but not obviously. That's obviously been put somewhere safe for now. Ooh. That will be perfect. Oh, morning, Joanne. This paper div is just beautiful, isn't it? That bird ballad paper was just, it's just gorgeous. Yeah, the papers will all retire, so if there's any papers that you want, you have to have a look and see if they're still in stock and get them quick, because once they are gone, they are very definitely gone. Rest assured there are beautiful new papers coming. But we want them all, don't we? Just trim that up a little bit. Trim it down a little bit. Pop that out of there. Don't want to pop that out of there. And we'll back that onto some pool party and some got my oddment bag of pool party. Oh, and there's a nice little oddment just there that will work perfectly. So let's put that onto a piece of pool party. Going to get my snips this time. And then we want a little smidge of petal pink. Oh, not quite, we'll have to go the other way. You were born to shine. We'll have a think about where that's going to go now. I'm sure I have got, I know I've not got many of the little rhinestones left. If I have any at all, let me just have a little flick and see if I can find some of the champagne rhinestones. If not, we'll go with ordinary rhinestones. I may even colour them. I have. I knew I'd got a few left. As I say, these are carrying over. So that's all good. So you were born to shine. Just there, I think. So I will put a dimensional this end and just put some snail on that end. To hold that in place. And then we'll have a few little little champagne rhinestones. Because we can, because they are beautiful. Let's go really mad and have a couple on here too. Okay, so a pretty little ballerina card. So we've made that. I will need to go on and make a custom built envelope for that. But that's all good. We can do that without any problem at all. And I will go on and put an insert in there as well. But a lovely pretty little card for a ballet dancer in your life. If you've got somebody, either a little girl that likes dancing or a big girl that likes dancing. So really quite simple, just a bit of colouring. So that technique with the reverse stamping on your stamp apparatus. So for our next little set of cards, we'll just do some, see how far we get, quick and simple. I have grabbed some Whisper White note cards. I have grabbed the Hoot Hooray stamp set. So this is something else that's retiring. Something else if you want it. Got to get your hands on it quite quickly. But I thought that these little images, these simple little images, would be fabulous to use with our PDF that we downloaded from the yesterday. And let's have a look. There was one here. Which one was it? So that there's one there that says "Hang in there," which I think will be perfect with this little chap hanging on to his rocking horse for dear life, just there. And what else could we have? I think we'll have the "Everything is okay. We just can't see what okay looks like from here," and we'll have that with that little smiley cloud. And perhaps we'll have a little "I miss your face" with a little owl. So let's go. I'm going to cut that up the centre there. Need to make sure I've got a little bag or something for all of these to sit in, because I need to. Let's trim that one off, put that safely to one side, and then I'll trim that one off. So that's ready to use, but this is the one that I want. You're the one that I want. Another song. We had a cue for a song yesterday. But once more, I'll allow you to sing that yourself. Don't expect karaoke from me. Particularly not on a morning when I've not slept very well. I don't think you'd want karaoke from me if I had slept very well, but certainly not this morning. Let's see how wonky that is, because we all know that I can't trim things straight on a trimmer. That's not bad, actually. So there's "I miss your face." We'll have "Everything will be okay." I think we'll go for in what colour shall we have? Might just go with the black for that one, because obviously we're not going to colour a cloud in. Oh, we could colour a cloud in, sort of Highland heather. If we wanted to, we can colour them what colour we like, but probably won't. So that's that one. That's that one, and then we want the one that says "Hang in there." Now the nice thing about these, of course, is because you've got the PDF and it's yours to keep and use as often, frequently as you like. You don't have to print the whole thing off every time you want one. You can just print off the page that you want. So there we are. We have 3 little greetings. "Everything will be okay." We'll have with our little cloud. "Hang in there." We'll have with our little teddy who's hanging on for dear life. And "I miss your face" we'll have with this little owl. So we've got 3 little cards. We'll get 3 little note cards. So nice quick cards that you can be sending out to people you can batch make quite nice and quickly. Now I am going to put a mat on those cards, I think, it just gives them a little bit of a lift, having a mat on them. I need to grab a bigger piece of Whisper White, but I've got stamping blend boxes sitting on my microphone wire, so I'm not going anywhere. That's better. So our note cards, when they're folded, the size on the front of these is 5 inches by 3.5. So these little mats on the front, I'm going to cut to actually, let's go this way. I'm going to cut that at 6 inches. I'm then going to cut it at 3 inches. I'm still not going to get 2 out that way, Helen. We'll do that one at 4.5, and we want 1 more. My math still wasn't working for me this morning. We got there in the end, and rest assured, Whisper White card is always going to be used up. Right, so we've got 3 little mats, and we'll put some colour behind those as well when we're ready. A top tip: if ever you lose your stamps and you go to yourself, I had them just now, one of the first places to look is behind your trimmer. There we go. There they are. On those frustrating days when you go, well, where's that gone? It was here just now. It can't have gone far away. No, it won't have gone far away. It'll be on the bottom, stuck on the bottom of your trimmer. Okay. So going to do some masking here because we don't want the little greetings that are on the bottom of those stamp sets. We could do 2 things. We could get very aggressive and just chop them off if we wanted to, but we won't do that. We'll just mask them. So I'm going to put some purple tape over there, cover that up. I want to make sure I get the bottom of those hearts. Ink that up. Take the tape off. Don't take the tape off, you're still going to get the inked image from it. And we've got a slight smudge just there, but not bad. Nothing we can't hide. So there's our little cloud, no longer with its greeting. We'll do exactly the same. Let's cover up the Hoot Hoot Hooray. These are great stamps if you're just starting out, you want something really simple that you can just stamp and colour. They're also fabulous stamps for children as well. Oh, you see, that's why you take your tape off, because look, as I said, you still get your image. Never mind, we're putting a sentiment underneath it. I knew this morning as I lay listening to the birds at 3 o'clock, 3:30 and 4 o'clock, and the time was going round, I thought I'm going to be really good on my Facebook Live today. Excellent. It's lovely, Megan, isn't it? Got your PDF downloaded and paid for when you came off. Right, take your tape off. Do as I say, don't do as I do. And then we'll have our little rocking teddy bear. So if we ignore that bit, because we'll cover that bit up in a minute, they're just such cute little images. And these ones, I think we will, I've stamped those in Stays On, so I think we will bring in our watercolour pencils with these ones. What should we do first? Let's have a little look at our cloud. And I think we'll have some flirty flamingo hearts. And we could either do balmy blue, Pacific Point I think is a bit too dark. Let's see, let's start off by doing, in fact, what else we've got? Melon Mambo, Real Red. So I've got Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo and Real Red there. Let's have some multicoloured hearts going on. Heart Rain. And we'll have that one. And that one as Real Red. This one as Flirty Flamingo, and this one Melon Mambo. So some multicoloured hearts just there. Now our little cloud, I think I'm just going to colour around the edge. I'm going to get my blender pen out in a minute. So I'm not really worried about what my colouring in looks like too much. We are on Whisper White card, so you don't want to go too heavy with your blender pen. Give that a scribble, make sure there's no colour on it. And let's just come around that edge. And sort of bring him in. Almost a fading out to nothingness. Excellent. Yeah, I think Whisper White's a good option as any, because you can colour it, you can spritz it, you could do all sorts of things with it. And we tend to use Whisper White, I think. Well, I certainly do. I do use Very Vanilla sometimes, but I do have to remind myself almost to use it. It tends to be if I'm doing something a little bit vintagey, and those perhaps aren't the sort of sentiments that are going to talk to being vintagey. This is a bit of the balmy blue that I'm just putting down here. Again, let's just soften that up a bit with our blender pen. There we go. So what colour shall we have? Shall we go with Bermuda Bay, because that's quite a nice bright colour, and we're spreading some sunshine, we're spreading some hope. We don't want it to be the world is full of doom and gloom. We want it to be, hey, you know, it's all going to get better. Everything will be okay. Yep. And we'll have a little bit as well for our greeting on the front. Let's bring my trimmer back in, avoiding my stamps. So this one we want to be 4 3/4 by 3 1/4, which it is just about. It looked like it was about spot on. Put our little greeting onto some Bermuda Bay card. Going to trim that down a little bit more on that edge. That's better. And have a bit of stripy ribbon coming around there. We may even tie a bit of a knot in a minute. Let's see. So let's just stick that round there. Yep, that's about right. We'll stick this card front to our note card. Dimensionals on there. Do we want a little knot of ribbon or not? To knot or not to knot? That is the question. Not left myself a lot of space to tuck that under there. And there you go. That's it. Oh, don't pull out now. There we go. And I think my dimensional, my little box of embellishments just needs sorting out a little bit. Let's just put on a few little So there we are, one really quick and easy, fun little card using that Hoot Hooray and that download. So what else have we got here? We've got the teddy bear. Just looking, I'm very aware of the time, so I won't sit and colour these all in. It more is about, I will sit and colour them in, but not necessarily. I'm sure you've all got better things to be doing than sitting watching me colour these in. So we've got a hang in there, so we could add that in there. Perhaps a little bit of ribbon on there. And then I miss your face. That's a bit of old olive there. Obviously that's going to sit that on an old olive background. I don't think I've got a big enough piece. I'll have to go and find another piece big enough, but just to give a bit of a sense, we'll have some old olive behind there, and we'd have a bit of old olive coming behind our greeting on the front here, and some sparkly bits. So it's very quick with those lovely, and I'll put the some pictures up of these finished ones when I've finished them. To use that Hoot Hooray stamp set, we could have added in that flower, we could have done something with that. The cakes, we could have perhaps done something about losing the banner on the top there, and there's the one about I've been working on my home body, which is what we've all been doing. You could even just cut the cakes out, couldn't you? But yeah, make a separate little banner with that on, with the cakes. We've got the little stars and things here, and we could add some of those in on these bits. So a lovely little stamp set for those quick and easy cards. So yes, you can use them for birthdays and new babies, and to say thank you and to say happy birthday, to let somebody know you're thinking of them. But you don't always have to use the sentiments that come with the stamps. Just mask them off. Remember to take off your masking tape, otherwise that's what happens. See, everything's a lesson, isn't it? Enjoy. So 2 stamp sets that we've had a play with today, that we're both stamp sets we're saying goodbye to. They were both still in the shop before we came on air this morning. So if you want either of those stamp sets, then do go and grab them, put them into your basket. As I say, I can't guarantee that they're in stock elsewhere in the world, but they certainly were here in the UK first thing this morning. So thank you for joining me this morning as we've played with a few more retired things and added in once more that lovely new download. Now there's our dancing card. There's the one we finished. Some more to come, ready to send out. Happy mail, sharing a bit of sunshine. So thank you for joining me this morning, and I will catch up with you all again tomorrow when we'll play with something else.